Of course, every HTGR has its own characteristics, but they have some similarities in the system. But I can really tell you that Chinese have been advancing in the development and deployment of the HTGR in Tsinghua University. They have 2 reactor units for this. Externally in the United States, they have been accelerating some specific steps in the technology. But the field technology integration is quite similar. But South Africans are putting a lot of effort because that technology originated also a couple of years back in South Africa. They were running a huge project to develop the HTGR reactor, but unfortunately, this technology was not able to deploy in the South African region. So this project has to migrate through X-Energy and other startups companies in the US. But I hope that the extension of the HTGR technology in South Africa revives again, and many other reactor units will be built in the future.
Just because the facts are A, if the narrative is B and everyone believes the narrative, then B is what matters. But it's our job in our industry to speak up proudly, soberly, and to engage people in this dialogue. Those 2.5 billion people that are in energy poverty, they need us.
America cannot meet this threat alone.
If there is a single country,
Of course, the world cannot meet it without America.
that is willing
We're
to
going to need you, the next generation, to finish the
overhaul
job.
nuclear regulation,
We need scientists to design new fuels.
focus on net public
We need
benefit
engineers to invent new technologies. We need
over absurd levels of radiation protection,
entrepreneurs to sell those
then
technologies.
we will march towards this.
We need workers to operate assembly lines that hum with high-tech, zero-carbon
We have
components.
unlimited prosperity for all humans.
We need diplomats and businessmen and women and Peace Corps volunteers to help developing nations skip past the dirty phase of development and transition to sustainable sources of energy. In other words, we need you.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Fire2Fission Podcast. My name's Mark Hinaman, and today I'm joined by Florencia Renteria, PhD in nuclear science and technology. Florencia, I'm stoked to chat with you. Thanks for doing this with me.
Hey, Mark, thanks for the kind invitation to participate in the Fire2Fission podcast, and I'm very delighted to be part of this today.
Yeah. Florencia, you reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I was just perusing through your background, and I was like, I gotta learn about this person. Let's get her on the podcast. So I'm excited to hear about your background and all the work that you've done. You've been pretty active in the industry. Do you want to kind of just walk me through? Let's start with your education. I guess what'd you study? Your PhD. Like, what'd you study?
Yeah, well, definitely, I have several experiences in studying. I try to learn and to continue preparing because this is a long journey. Though we reach a certain stage in the educational career, we always need to keep updating ourselves. So I have a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering in Mexico. I graduated in 2016 at Instituto Tecnológico de La Laguna. I'm from the north of Mexico, from Torreon City. And after that, I continued my master's degree in nuclear power plant engineering in South Korea. That was from 2017 to 2019 at KEPCO International Nuclear Graduate School. It's well known as KINGS. It's like a kind of private educational center, well recognized in the nuclear industry. And I completed recently my PhD in nuclear science and technology in China at Harbin Engineering University in the specialty of advanced reactor physics. I was working in the developers team of high fidelity neutron transport code. I did some research about supercomputing and digital infrastructure for the nuclear industry. And I like to keep myself active. I think it's a good way also to engage in the community.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive. I mean, was the studying in Korea and China in English?
Yeah, both were in English. Both were affiliated to the IAEA Technical Cooperation Fellowship programs. Normally, the agency provides a series of trainings for different member states where the countries have the opportunity to nominate their personnel or candidates that they profile according to the needs of the country or even beyond. And this is how I got to get more about the training programs in South Korea and China. I was nominated by the Mexican government in both occasions, and it was a great opportunity because like you get exposed to the international environment with fellows from different countries. The program mainly was in English, but you also need to learn the culture from different countries. I mean, someone from the African region, Middle East, European region, and so on. And it helps you to understand, I think, in a holistic perspective, the point of view from the global landscape.
Yeah, awesome. Why'd you pick Korea and then China?
Well, both countries were selected by the agency. The agency normally signs a cooperation of an MOU or cooperation of agreement with a specific country, and they look for the training center. In that case, they appointed South Korea in that particular case, and China as well. And as you see, most of the innovation trends or maybe the active zones in the nuclear industry are the Asia and the Pacific region. So it's also a good experience to get the exposure the exposition to the industry there, and also bring different immersive practices to the Western culture as well.
I'm curious about China and your experience there. They're doing some really awesome stuff. I just was at a conference in Prague, and a lot of the presenters and technical content was presented from Chinese and Japanese and Koreans, but a lot from China. So
Yeah.
that what Harbin University, or the school that you went to, was well represented there. Um, and tell me about it. What was it like? I mean, do you feel like the um I imagine you're proud of your school and where you got your PhD, but um, do you think that the quality of the school and research, like I was really impressed with it. I don't know. Tell me a little bit about the school.
Well, I can tell you that, of course, I mean, the university has its own reputation, but also the students, they provide their knowledge and skills to reach also part of the umbrella of education within the program. I can tell you that sometimes it's challenging to cope with a certain culture because coming from the Western culture, though is the Asian region, every country thinks in a different perspective. And when you find out the opportunity, if they give you the chance to innovate or to provide different perspectives, is very enrichable in that aspect of the research level. Sometimes, of course, you face a lot of communication challenges, cultural part, and not only in the technical aspect, but it helps you to negotiate, let's say, in those terms, like what do you need to do, what they need you to do as well, and just try to come up with this balance point to leverage the capabilities. The university is very large in several applications of technology. Of course, it's one of the well-recognized campus in the Asian region, and I can say that it helps. It was very helpful the experience there to know the culture as well, to know their technique of how they teach, how they learn, and how they transfer the knowledge from generation to generation. But of course, every university also they have their strengths and also their weakness points. So integrating the culture is one of the aspects it should work more because when you have the perspectives of different students around the world, you will face a lot of challenges when you want to do a project like team project. Everyone has his own opinions, and merging the, I don't know, 5 or 6 people's opinion is challenging. But I can tell you that Chinese are accelerating a lot the human development capability, and also other countries are not being behind. I mean, you see Japan, you also see Korea, and I mean, many of these experts are also migrating to other European countries or even America, in the American region. And I think we will see more of this culture integration in the future.
Yeah. You've been involved with a lot of different projects and roles, and I think you got like 36 experience pieces on your LinkedIn. It's a lot, right? And like you've just been going to school. Like, tell me about how you get involved in so many different things, and how do you juggle all of them?
Well, I can tell you sometimes some opportunities came without asking, like they see you that you're capable of doing things. And I mean, I've been doing several things in parallel. I can tell you sometimes it's not easy, but it's a way also of constructing and engaging to different communities. Just for instance, when I was well, I'm now serving as scientific advisor to the WIN Global Young Generation community through the WINI, Women in Nuclear Innovation Group of Expertise of WIN Global. And this role is very helpful because we are trying also to build different connections and relations and training relationship programs with the young generation because it's about accelerating the human development capability. And I'm very happy to develop this role because we've been implementing several things in the community that I'm very proud of it. And I hope that we continue enlarging the capabilities like career roadmap development activities. We recently finished one of the webinar series promoting different activities for the Marie Sklodowska Fellowship applicants or aspirants for this year at the IEA Fellowship Program. And I've been also involved in some technical program conferences, which I'm very proud of it because it means that they require expertise. And it's also an opportunity to pull other people. I mean, also to empower others at certain level of roles because it's going to be helpful, once that you start with someone, that people will do the domino effect and it will pull some others to the same pool of opportunities too.
I love that attitude. That's awesome. Yeah, it compounds and builds, doesn't it? Right. Tell me about
Yes.
Women in Nuclear. What is this organization and what's the innovation working?
So the Innovation Working Group, it was created in 2021 in September through an initiative of WIN Global under the World Nuclear Association partnership with the Director General Sama Bilbao y Leon. She is our godmother of the group. And the group mainly focuses in creating group of multidisciplinary experts within the members of WIN Global. And the initiative, the initial mission is to promote innovation in nuclear as a key driver for sustainable and future for women and have a key role in the development of initiative and inclusive solution. So we normally enlarge the capabilities, for example, of training, I don't know, like how to expand nuclear power programs or how to integrate different technologies like nuclear fission and so on. So I can tell you that we're a very flexible group of women in the industry and we like to cooperate along the way. I mean, we have members from the USA, we have people from Canada, European region. Our main leader, I'm acting as a co-leader, but our main leader now in the group, she's from China. So we are like a very diverse group, and we just like to combine the thoughts together and make it happen. I think, in June, we had the Global Forum for Nuclear Innovation in Miami, where we had the opportunity to participate some of the group members, and it was a great experience. This event was co-organized with EPRI, the IEA, some of the partners of the NEA, and so on. So this event was magnificent because we were able to merge thoughts and transform ambitions into actions and at least find a common path for keep developing the industry.
That's super cool. Wow. Um, how did you get involved with IEA?
Well, as I mentioned to you, through the Technical Cooperation Fellowship programs, it's been a great experience because sometimes, of course, you're in your country, you have your own views, but sometimes we don't think too much about leaving our country and experience a different culture. And the training has been very useful as well to understand the perspectives of different countries. And it was through the government when they find different candidates, they nominate them through the agency. And of course, when you complete the training or if you want to get admitted to these two universities or schools I mentioned to you, you always have to comply the process for admission. And luckily, I was admitted. Then I was granted with the fellowship program because that is one of the conditions to receive the fellowship program. And this year I terminated a short consultancy contract within the agency's umbrellas project. And I think it's very helpful because now you're able to compile the ideas that you work for a couple of years outside your landscape, and then maybe you can provide some feedback to the decision makers. And it helps at least to recognize several technological and integration capabilities that we need to accelerate for the future.
What kind of projects were you working on for that contract?
In the contract, I was working in the nuclear fuel cycle and division, sorry, the nuclear fuel cycle and material section. And I was working in the organization of one of the conferences of the IEA. They provided is a spent fuel management conference. They organize it every 4 years, and it was this time in a short consultancy contract. But I also tried to provide recommendations to the technical cooperation department. I mean, not to limit myself, but at least to extend the opportunities and different capabilities. And of course, it depends on the under the environment that they allow you to work as well.
Yeah. Can you talk about Moswelli?
Moswelli came when I was in China. It was an opportunity given by the CEO, Dr. Trevor Dudley. I arrived in China when it was September 2019. No one predicted the COVID-19. No one ever thought about it. And
What,
I had to,
what a time to be arriving in China. Man,
I
I
think,
hadn't I hadn't put that together yet. That's man, what an experience.
I think that no one predicted that. And I never thought myself to be probably in isolation for half a year, I can tell you, at the university campus. And I think I had plenty of time to do several activities online and so on. And this is how I got to know Dr. Trevor Dudley through LinkedIn profiles and other activities as well. And he offered me the opportunity to join as a technical advisor, providing different recommendations or opportunities. And this is how I learned that the hybrid work or the remote work helps because I never thought myself. I was in China and then I was joining to some sessions with the South African team at the same time. And then you are experiencing different environment, the culture, and how to share different experiences. And I really value that opportunity very much because not only it gives you how to connect experience from China, but also what is gonna happen in the next years, for example, in the African region. So I still keep the connection with the Moswelli team, and I feel very proud of the activities that they are developing in South Africa and even in the African region because their operations are growing there.
For folks that are unfamiliar, what is Moswelli and what are they working on?
So Moswelli is a nuclear engineering company. They are focusing on deploying the pebble bed reactor technology. It's a homemade technology as well, and it's going to be produced in the same country and to export to different other countries like I don't know, like Malawi. They are negotiating with other African regions as well, Mozambique, to comply the decarbonization goal in the African region. And the Moswelli team offers different sorts of packages or tools for the nuclear industry as well, and is one of the private companies that is helping the nuclear sector to grow in the African region.
Cool. Tell me about the pebble bed reactor, this high temperature reactor. Yeah, I guess you're working and providing some consulting services about it. But high temperature gas reactor.
Yeah, well, my duty now works more in the human development capability. I provided before some inputs for the technical part on the design, but currently I provide more inputs in terms of courses, traineeship programs, or maybe how to develop different human resources and strategies for them. It depends on the needs of what is the request from them, but it helps at least to integrate the technical part with the future direction of the development, or if they have, I don't know, certain projects of R&D like hydrogen production and so on. So it depends. It varies a lot, not only in the reactor technology aspects.
Florencia, you've been on like a lot of youth panels and chair of like technical program for the International Youth Nuclear Congress. What was that like?
So for the IYNC community, I had the chance to participate before in two congresses in 2018 and 2022 in Koreama. It was very useful experience, because it connects you with young people that they have the same interests or the same perspectives as you, and it helps you to build the community stronger and stronger. During the last IYNC, I couldn't attend, on site because, sometimes financial problem, budget, and so on. But I was able to go like through the online version. It was very helpful, and I want to thank also the team because they make it to happen, and other people or participants were able to join. Something that I can tell you from my experience from the last IYNC, I had the chance to submit a panel proposal, a workshop, and also present my research contributions when I was doing my PhD. And it really helps you to connect with senior people from the industry and also merge your thoughts or ideas because sometimes we have plenty of ideas, but we don't know how to ground, for example, for a panel or a workshop, or what is needed for the industry, or how can I organize my thoughts to make it happen. And this was very useful, you know. I will encourage the young community to attend to the next IYNC 2024 in a UAE in Abu Dhabi. It's going to happen this year. Specifically, also to connect with the young community and other people from the industry, like senior people. A lot of the speakers will attend there, and it will be a very immersive and engaging time during the conference.
What kind of things do they talk about at the conference?
Um, this year, the focus, I think the theme of the conference was innovation as well, because, you know, without innovation, many things cannot happen. You need to integrate tools, you need to integrate technology, and specifically several challenges that you see nowadays, like climate change. You also need to have in mind, I don't know, like cybersecurity threats, AI, and so on, how to apply all those tools, and specifically to create a conscious culture about integrating properly the tools for the daily life.
Florencia, I want to shift back to Mexico and talk a little bit about your home country. But
Yeah.
what's nuclear like in Mexico? There is a nuclear power plant there, right? I'm not misremembering that.
Yes, we have a nuclear power plant. The name is Laguna Verde. We have two BWR reactors. It was built by Hitachi back in the years. It went already through the second extending lifetime cycle of the power plants. In total, we produce around 140 electric megawatts. Sorry, 1,400 electric megawatts. Each unit contributes around 750 electric megawatts to the grid. And also the country is looking into expanding the nuclear fleet to a third unit on the same site in Laguna Verde in Veracruz. And we hope in the next couple of years we can not only expand to one more unit, you know, even more. And I think the country is also looking into several solutions like seawater desalination because part of the states of the north of Mexico, they've been affected by the shortage of water consumption by the population. And if you don't look in the perspective of the seawater desalination, most of the industry activities, the medical sector will be paralyzed. So it's an imminent solution that is needed for the future, not only for the short term, but also for the long term sustainability of the country. And of course, I mean, every sector in every country works differently. But the nuclear industry in Mexico, they have a well experienced and equipped professionals, the universities as well. They are upgrading their curriculum program and also motivating people to join to the graduate school, to expand to different internship programs as well. And we hope to see a large boom in the next years in the nuclear industry in Mexico.
That's awesome. I I hope you do it. We need let's go build it. Let's build another plant in Mexico. Yeah. Yeah. Um I guess same site as the current one, but if they were to build another one, is there an area of the country that uh they might focus on first?
Well, I think they want to build large reactors. Like, it depends on the reactor technology they want to select, but they've been evaluating several choices. I mean, you see different vendors from China, Korea, Russia, American vendors as well. But it depends on the needs of the country, and I think the country is open to expand the technology integration. I mean, no one is married to specific technology, but it depends on the needs of the country and what are the long-term cooperation that the vendors offer to the country as well.
Got it. Yeah, tell me about the nuclear community in Mexico. Um, yeah, you served as a committee member for the annual conference on the Mexican Nuclear Society. How big is this community? number of professionals or schools? Like, I just know very little about it. Right? I know a lot about American Nuclear Society, ANS, right? And a lot of the organizations in America, but I don't know many about or many.
Well, the Mexican Nuclear Society, of course, the number of members is not the same as American Nuclear Society. Of course, ANS is larger than the MNS, but the community is small but standing and is very strong in terms of cooperating and connecting through other members around, I mean, in the community and outside the community. They've been engaging also with American Nuclear Society through the Latin American section of the American Nuclear Society in the past. They attend also to other activities from the global nuclear societies around the world. I mean, it depends very largely of the activities. But the annual Congress actually this year is going to be organized this year in Mexico in October. It's a joint event with the Win Global Annual Conference, the WinRCal chapter, and the Mexican Nuclear Society. It's going to be a large conference this year. We are expecting several visitors from different countries. And normally, when each year is organized a Congress, the Mexican Nuclear Society is also trying to arrange sessions with international experts as well to provide different perspectives of the community. And something that I can tell you that the community also works on is in engaging students from different educational institutions of the country. So they have a specific program for students to participate in the annual Congress. And you see, like, when you attend to the Congresses, you see that the students, they provide a high quality level of research, and you get impressed by many of the research topics that they present. So I can tell you that it can be a small community, but it is very outstanding in that aspect.
Where is that conference going to be?
In Mexico City. It's going to be in Mexico City. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the last week of October. And they are going to organize some technical visits as well to like Laguna Verde, to the power plant, and also to the research centers or facilities in Mexico. It will be a great opportunity to know more about the sector.
Tell me about your studies a little bit. What kind of research and work did you do, both in Korea and for your PhD?
So during my master's degree time in South Korea, I participated in the design of one of the nuclear reactors that it is still under development. The name is iPower.
So China has a high temperature gas reactor, right? What is this? I mean, it's similar to like X Energy's design and what Maswali's working on. Yeah, do you know much about it? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so of course, every HTGR has its own characteristics, but they have some similarities in the system. What I can really tell you that Chinese have been advancing in the development and deployment of the HTGR in Tsinghua University. They have 2 reactor units for this. X Energy in the United States, they have been accelerating some specific steps in the technology. But the field technology integration is quite similar. In Musweli, of course, you know that some information is confidential, but it helps to understand probably the technology development. But South Africans are putting a lot of effort because that technology originated also in some regions of back a couple of years back in South Africa. They were running a huge project to develop the HTGR reactor, but unfortunately, this technology was not able to deploy in the South African region. So this project has to migrate through X Energy and other startups companies in the US. But I hope that the extension of the HTGR technology in South Africa revives again, and many other reactor units will be built in the future.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the technology. I really like the positive characteristics of it, or some of the characteristics, right? Like, it doesn't need water. You've got super high temperature.
Yes.
The exhaust stream, so to speak, of the power cycle still has useful heat that you can use for other industrial processes. Like, there's just a lot of cool things about it. So
Definitely. It really helps.
talk to us about women in nuclear. I mean, I know you mentioned it a little bit, but what is the Women in Nuclear organization, and do you see more women entering the field in the future?
Definitely. Like Women in Nuclear has been an organization that it's been in the industry for about 32 years. They've been enlarging and promoting more women in the nuclear industry to join to several, leadership positions as well, engaging the community in terms of the mentoring and knowledge transfer experience. Indeed, we will have more women joining the community, but we also need men, the expertise of both genders and providing these diversity community strategies because at the end of the day you need the ability and the capability of people and their talents. It's not a matter of gender, it's a matter of looking the people's capability in the future to comply the roles, and everyone who is purely engaged in the industry and they want to transition into different stages, because we need this continuous evolution in the nuclear industry.
Absolutely. Um, what's the most impactful step that we can take to build more nuclear, and how can people help?
Well, I think we need to look at different perspectives from time to time. A lot of the impactful steps and how can people help is, first we need to accelerate the training program and the capabilities of people in the nuclear industry because when you have this high skill force, applying the needs of the industry, we need them. And of course, once that you train them, you send them to a graduate program, you need to allocate them in the place that you need them. Because this is a systematic chain of expanding people's capabilities. And specifically to promote these active roles in the community, advocating for nuclear industry, promoting nuclear education outside the community, meant to find out which partners we need for the coming years and even for the current year, and how to develop these holistic strategies and to support the technology integration and innovation, specifically for R&D investments, collaborative innovation hubs. And then you see like in the Kenya region, they are doing a lot of energy hubs distribution. So we may need that to replicate those models in other regions of the world because it's specifically for if we want to develop more small modular reactors, advanced fuel cycles, or waste management technology, we need them in that part of the umbrella, and to foster the culture of continuous learning innovation. Because without innovation, without technology, many things cannot happen. And of course, to engage in this cross-sector collaboration in the public and private partnerships and the interdisciplinary partnerships, because we cannot do this alone, and we need more partners to integrate several solutions.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Yeah, we need all the help we can get. So, Florencia, leave us
Definitely.
with your most positive vision of the future. What's the world going to be like in 10, 20 years, and how are we going to help get it there?
I think the future is ambitious because it's bright, and in a world where nuclear technology powers not just our homes, but also our industries, our economies, supercomputing technologies, and our efforts to combat climate change. And we will have to create this legacy of sustainability, innovation, and the global cooperation. By working together, we have to ensure that the nuclear energy is a cornerstone of a cleaner, safer, and more prosperous world for all. I think some people has been demystifying or giving a bad reputation to nuclear energy, but it's been for a long years in the past and in the present, and it will continue in the future. And we need to give the right stage to the main actor and to provide the visibility that it's going to bring us for the best in the future.
Yeah, you got it
Thank you.
right.
No, it's right. It's right. I think the R is something difficult to pronounce in Spanish, so it's fine. No worries.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's well. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been fun to chat.
Thanks to you for the kind invitation, and I'm very happy to participate. And thanks for to reach out to me and for connecting. I never expect to participate in the program. Thanks a lot.